Hey, everybody, look at us.
We are live.
We're live, we're local, and we're in a mystery car.
Yes, if you can guess this car, what's the prize?
Nothing, but let me put the comments up. So we're not going to give any clues yet about this car at all. And a few people might know it. Jake, you probably, good morning, Jake. You know what car this is, so you can't guess.
So Jake's not allowed to guess.
Jake's not allowed to guess or even give clues.
Okay, Adam can guess.
Adam can guess. Ray Pepper.
Can guess. Yes.
Bob.
Bob.
Dan. We got all kinds of regulars. But all we'll tell you is it is a car. And what you can tell from it is this seatbelt is a little bit wonky.
My seatbelt is perfectly fine. I am in the passenger seat.
They are black seatbelts, so we're not in the Polestar with the yellow ones. We almost were. The heat works very well in this car. It's very nice and toasty.
That's good. I'm going to move my microphone up because it's bumping right into the seatbelt here.
Adam says it looks like a smaller sized car. Well, that's interesting that you think that.
Oh, because we're very large gentlemen.
Yes. It is not that small of a car. I will say that. It is not a compact car.
That is true, but it is a two-door vehicle.
Yes. So, I don't know where that thumb came from.
We got thumbs up.
All right.
Is it time for clues? Because I've got a great one.
Is it? I mean, how obvious will a clue be, though?
Well, we can start by saying this is an American car.
Okay, that's a good clue. This is an American-made car. I will also say this is a clue that would be hard to guess, probably. The year of this car is the next to the last year this car was made.
Oh, okay.
So this car is not currently made.
It's no longer made, but this particular model, this is the next to last year that they produced it.
I just said that.
I'm confirming.
Oh, I thought you were saying that was the clue you had. I'm like, did I just say that? Where does he get his information from? By the way, if you're watching this live, please like and share and all that fun stuff. If you're watching the rerun of it, then
still like and
share. It helps the algorithm.
Sure.
Now, Dan Lindquist says Pontiac.
Now Dan is in the right realm, but
you're in the right family.
Yes.
Not a Pontiac, but that does mean it's a General Motors vehicle.
We'll give you another hint, which should be able to help you. This American car brand spans more than 100 years.
Yes.
And is still in existence.
Right. So now we just eliminated, we're not in a Saturn, we're not in an Oldsmobile, we're not in a Pontiac.
Yes.
All
right. Should we get underway?
Well, I think we should do this part before we start moving in case we lose signal.
Yes. Because the competition is fierce on this.
Yes. Now, the other issue is there are a few little physical issues with this car.
Maybe if you divulge some of those as clues.
The trunk. All right, so I bought this online from a site, and I just was like, it looks good. I asked them for a little video of the engine. The engine sounded fine. And then when the car arrived, the trunk was taped shut. Okay. And all the pictures that they sent, the trunk was not taped shut.
Trump or trunk?
Trump? The trunk. Wow.
The trunk was taped shut?
Yes.
Oh, what world do you live in?
That would be wonderful. The trunk was taped shut. And so I sent everything to Greenlight Garage to my good friend Nick and friends down there. And he's like, whoa, something wrong with the trunk. It literally looks like somebody broke out of the trunk.
Right. Like they were trapped in there?
Yeah, it's like there's damage to the trunk. I bought the latch for it, but it needs to go to a body shop. So the trunk is currently zip tied shut. However, therefore, we can't run it through the Brown Bear Car Wash.
That's okay.
Unless we had to blue tape the whole thing, which we could, but I'm not going to do that.
No.
So we're not going to do that today. And I've been on a diet for a very long time. I'm down 24 pounds.
Excellent.
I have not been eating my sweets.
Good for you.
And Raffi said we should go to a donut shop today.
Well, we're not going to a donut shop. We're going to the donut shop. We're going to Sly's Donut Shop in Paulsbo, Washington. And Sly's is the home of the Viking donut, which is a donut about as big as your head. We will not be getting one of those, but we will be getting a donut.
Yes. Now, normally we would end up at Jake's and get a sconut,
Yes.
which could still happen.
Yes.
I can't fall that far off the wagon. And if I get a donut, I'm splitting it with Raffi. I'm not going to eat the entire donut.
There you go. And our good friend Ray has joined us and refers now to Dan as Twiggy because he's lost so much weight. That's
Thank
good.
you. I still have 20 pounds to go. I'm trying to get my TV weight.
So your TV weight is 185?
190. 198 is my goal.
198?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been using this thing called Renfro, which our friend Ron Erickson recommended. It's a scale, which you have.
I have.
It's got an app, and it tells you your it's a whole other story.
Yes.
Now, Ray, have you been able to guess? I think you just joined. What we're driving. We're driving a car. Here's what we've established: the trunk is zip tied shut. It looks like it was broken out of from the inside because there's no damage on the outside at all, but it's broken. It is a General Motors car that is currently. The brand still exists, but this model does not exist. This is the next to the last year of the model. Now, Ray, if I've told you about this car, please don't guess. I don't think I've told Ray about it yet.
Now, we'll also include that it is a black car.
It is a black on black car, which I love.
Very, very nice. It's a handsome vehicle. Ray is thinking right now. I should also point out that it has leather interior.
Or at least pleather.
No, this is leather. These are leather seats.
Are these definitely leather seats?
Yeah, these are leather seats. Now, the rest of the interior, like the door cards and the dash and all that, that's not leather.
No. And no sunroof, I will say that. Although a sunroof was an option.
Yes, that was an option.
Shall we start moving?
I think
if we lose signal, I apologize.
I'll give another clue.
Give another clue.
This American brand is the only American automotive brand that ever made a V16 powered vehicle.
A V16. Now, Adam's guessing a Chevy Impala.
Adam is close because he's getting closer to the family, but you're not quite in the family yet.
I wonder if this little thing right there is a clue.
Oh.
On the outside, it does have an OnStar antenna. It looks like a cellular antenna, but it's for OnStar.
Well, most GM vehicles have OnStar.
Yes, but the antennas, that might help the year.
Well,
because they got rid of the antennas. Yes. And I actually can also say I sold this exact vehicle. Not this particular one, but I sold these.
You sold these in Los Angeles?
In Los Angeles.
Well, I think they sold all of these cars in Los Angeles. Los Angeles, New Jersey, and Florida. Those would be the number one.
Dan, Caddy DeVille.
Dan is...
It is a Cadillac.
It is a Cadillac.
You ought to know by now.
Yes, but
it's not a DeVille.
Two-door.
Oh, you just gave it away.
Well, it's two-door. I mean, it's a smaller car.
Well, it could be a Seville. It could be an STS, a DTS, a CTS. There's a lot of other things other than DeVille.
Well, he's in the DeVille category.
Okay, it is a two-door.
This model had a DeVille. There was this model DeVille.
Well, that was called a Coupe DeVille.
Nope.
There was one of these at DeVille?
Yes.
What year? That would have been an old one.
Oh, Janice says hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
I like that Janice refers to us as gentlemen.
I'm trying to figure out who she's talking about. All right, I'm going to start moving.
All right, we're on the way.
Check the mirrors.
Mirrors clear.
I'm not used to it. It doesn't have a backup camera. I will. Oh, my God. I will say, I'll give the year away. Or should we let people guess that, too? It's so sunny today.
It is. It's very sunny. It's very unusual.
Ooh, there's an nice Porsche.
Yes.
Do we know him?
No. Don't think so, but that is a nice Porsche.
Don't let me go. Thank you.
Carrera 2. No, it's a GT3. Oh, GTS. Yeah, the GT3 has the big wing in the back.
Yes.
Yes, well, everybody's, because of the nice sunny weather, I think everybody's taking out their nice vehicles today.
So I had something funny happen with my new glasses because these will tint.
Yes.
And we were on the ferry, and I was talking to somebody, and they were blocking the sun, and only one eye got dark. So when they walked away, I had one sunglass and one clear glass. So it was kind of funny.
Bob Moss has guessed Cadillac Seville. And Bob, you would be close. You are very close. It is not the Seville. The Seville was the four-door. And we are in a two-door. A two-door.
A two-door Cadillac.
Yes.
There's only 3 options that would be this modern. One would be newer than this. Or no, one would be about this age. One would be 10 years older than this.
And boy, it's very quiet.
It is
very
pretty quiet.
Smooth, quiet. Did you put new tires on?
Okay, so here's the story of the tires.
Oh, the tires.
I had 4 tires that matched this car, but they were 215s, and this requires 225s.
Well, it doesn't seem to make any difference.
Well, I didn't put them on.
You didn't?
No. So what happened was when it showed up, Nick said, "You realize your front 2 tires are brand new? They've got 2022 date codes on them.
Oh.
And they have like no miles on them."
Wow.
And looking at the Carfax, they were replaced like a couple thousand miles ago. So I Googled them, and they're from Walmart, and they were like $60 a tire. So I just bought 2 more of them. Put the new ones on the front, put the 2 front ones back on the back, and they're now the actual tires.
Well,
so we are in a 2-door Cadillac. We haven't discovered the year yet. That would be next for anybody that wants to try to figure that out.
And since you brought up tires, we should talk about that because the common thinking is that your better tires should be on the front.
In a front-wheel drive car.
In a front-wheel drive car. This is that's another
thing. This is a front-wheel drive car.
We should tell people this is
Adam got it.
Oh, Adam got it. All right. It is a front-wheel drive vehicle.
North Star engine.
North Star engine, and Adam is correct. It is a Cadillac
Eldorado. Oh, there's some bumps here. We're driving in the construction zone.
And what year is it, Dan?
This is a 2001.
Which is the second to the last year.
2002 was the last year. I sold them at Felix Chevrolet Cadillac in 2001 and 2002. My manager, Frank, always drove one. This was like his car.
Yes, these cars were very, very popular, but I don't think you could sell one today. The 2-door personal coupe, they call them, really doesn't have a market anymore.
No.
Everybody wants a giant car. Do you know what the width of the General Motors Hummer is? The width, not the length. The width.
It's equal to this car.
No.
This car's length.
You're almost right. It's 93 inches wide.
We couldn't do the show.
93 inches wide.
We would need 2 cameras.
That's insanely wide. Now, the largest production car for years was a 1958 Lincoln, the Premier. And the Lincoln Premier was 227 inches, 28 inches. There are SUVs now that exceed that length. Can you imagine how big that is? First of all, 93 inches, 72 inches is 6 feet wide. It used to be like a Ferrari Testarossa being more than 6 feet wide. 7 feet is 84. 8 feet, it just boggles the mind. 96 inches is 8 feet. So this thing is almost 8 feet wide.
Right, which a lot of cars are that long. There are cars that you could fit sideways in them. Speaking of cars, behind us is a car named after your daughter. The Nissan
Aria.
Electric SUV.
Yes. So cars are getting bigger, they're getting more expensive, and I also think that cars are getting probably a little bit more annoying because there's so much electronic stuff in these new vehicles that it's almost I was in a brand new I won't reveal the brand because I don't want to be negative to the brand, but when it was on and running, there was so much going on. The screen is, like the old television screens. It's bigger than the biggest laptop. Then you have a dashboard which has the critical information that you're supposed to focus on, and then there's all sorts of accessory lights. There's these side lights that light up, dim lighting to LED, for your discotheque look, like you're in one of those stretch limos going to your prom. There's overhead lighting. The roof isn't even a roof anymore. It's almost all glass now. So it's a very, very different experience. Driving almost seems incidental in a new car compared with all the other stuff that's going on, the infotainment, and the advertising. There are little pop-up advertisings. You drive by and it tells you, you just passed by so-and-so and they're having a sale on certain things. And it's
Wow.
it boggles the mind. They send out little reminders too. You get in your car in the morning and it says, we noticed that you've been to Starbucks 3 days in the past week. Would you like us to order what you ordered last time and have it ready at the nearest Starbucks? So
Somebody's trash in the middle of the road. We have a couple questions. So Janice wants to know what it was. She missed it. It is a 2001 Cadillac Eldorado. It's black on black, 171,000 miles it's about to have on it. And Ray asked if it's a piece of shit, like all of his videos. Radical Ray is killing it on TikTok. Over 300,000 views on one of his piece of shit videos. And yeah, Cadillacs can be pieces of shit. What I look at with this one is if it's still around after 170,000 miles and it didn't need that much work to get it to be a driver. I mean, it ran and drove when it showed up. The dipstick was in the trunk for some reason. That was odd. And I kept thinking there was oil leaking on the engine. And I realized because we had started it, it shot oil onto the hood.
Yeah.
And so there's oil dripping from the hood, a couple little drops. I'm like, where's this oil coming from? And I figured that out. And there was a little bit of a water leak. There was a new pressurized reservoir that was installed.
Did you find Jimmy Hoffa in the trunk?
Jimmy Hoffa, no, but he might have been trying to get out. And Adam says that he always feels like it looks like a pimp mobile. Yeah,
a little bit. I mean, Cadillacs do have that kind of history, but it's really back to the model line. The two-door personal coupe. It's one of my favorite packages for a car because you've got the sort of comfort and intimacy of the two-seater, but you have space in the back.
If you want to fit some very short people.
Yeah, but there's actually a fair amount of room up here. You have to move your front seats up a little bit. Large trunk. When they designed these and other cars, the provision for the trunk was that it be able to hold 2 golf bags so that you and your buddies could go golfing together and not worry.
Or as I used to say, 3 bodies, 4 if you cut them up right.
There you go.
We used to do things where we'd have people jump in the trunk and then we'd show the customer, look, and we open the trunk and one of the salesmen would pop out.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we used to do stuff like that. We actually did a video for the news station when the CTS came out, and I had this kid Ignacio. I had Albert. Ignacio was the other dealership. I had Albert pop out, and I thought that might not look good. And then we also it won Motor Trend Car of the Year, and I had the actual trophy. They sent every dealership one of the trophies. I go, look what I found in here, Car of the Year trophy. Well, so I'm going to stop at Brown Bear anyway, so we can do the exterior walk around.
Okay.
Even though we're not going to run it through the car wash because that can fill with water.
Yeah,
until we get it fixed, which we will do soon.
This car is actually in very nice shape. I would suspect that it's possible that a salesperson owned this car, put the number of miles on it. These miles are primarily highway miles, and Cadillac is known for the longevity of their engines. If you maintain the engine, regular oil changes, regular filter changes, get after the belts, the soft stuff, change out the hoses, things like that, these engines will go for miles and miles and miles.
Right.
Cadillac experimented with the North Star engine. They put over 100,000 miles on one without changing anything. And then they took it all apart, checked all the tolerances, and everything was fine. They tested the oil and all that. So these can run for 100,000 miles on factory oil. The newest Cadillac, which is a hybrid Cadillac, the hood is not even unlockable. by the owner. You have to go to the dealer, and the dealer puts in a special code, and the service people can unlock it then. So access to the vital systems in a brand new Cadillac hybrid is limited to the dealer only.
Well, I'm going to turn the car off.
All right.
It's got the chip key, which I'll talk about that in a little while. I found out a bunch of interesting. There's only 15 of these that they made. And you check how many ohms it has, and that tells you which one of the 15 it is.
Oh,
I thought it was programmed to the car, and it's not.
it's not.
You have 1 in 15 chance of getting the right key.
All right.
All right, so be careful opening.
Be careful.
The trim in the interior is a little off. Now, this car, because of Carfax, I was able to find out that the very first owner of this car they took it to the dealer exclusively.
Ah.
This car was dealer service for the first almost 100,000 miles. It was very well taken care of. Are you making fun of me? All right. So here we are. We'll reverse the camera real quick.
Oh, what's happened with the hood?
Oh, it's been like that. It's not giving me the camera. There we go. And we're going to go to the back camera. Here we go. Back camera.
All right.
Oh, my hand's over it. There we go. So here's the car. It did not have the center caps. I actually found those on eBay.
Oh, good. How much were they?
They were. I don't remember. I thought I was getting knockoffs that didn't have the Cadillac logo. They just had the wreath. But then these showed up, and I think maybe they were selling knockoffs and didn't want to tell people.
Ah.
Now the car obviously needs a good detail. These are the tires that were on it, and those are the new tires. You can see they're pretty good quality.
Oh yeah. The paint needs some definite work. I see what you're saying about the trunk.
Yeah, the trunk is zip tied right now.
Yeah.
Just to hold it as down as it'll stay.
Mm-hmm. This was tape.
Yeah, there's some tape residue left. I took some. I actually have tape removal stuff, and I left it in the trunk.
Ah.
So
in this stuff here, that might be able to condition out.
Yeah, that should, because I got it off the other side.
And the glass is in good shape.
There's some scratches on the hood that aren't that deep, so I think I can get those.
Those might come out, yeah. Yeah, it looks like somebody dragged something off the front of the hood when it was in the garage. How's it look under the hood?
All right, you want to hold this for a second?
Sure.
There you go. I'll be right back. I'll pop it.
Dan is now going to the vehicle. He's opening the door, and he's popping the hood.
Popping the trunk. My microphone is still on, so they can...
All right, let's see here.
So here's the North Star engine. Here's what I'm talking about. Like there's this random drops of oil that are coming from up here. Because it's splashed up because either this was off or that was in the trunk. This right here was replaced. That's good. It's a pressurized tank.
Yep.
And then this hose right here was leaking the other day and shooting water down on the engine. So I had all the steam coming out. And I thought the car was overheating, but it wasn't. And so I replaced this myself.
This actually is in really good shape under here. I mean, a lot of stuff has been nicely taken care of.
Like I said, it was dealer maintained for almost the first 100,000 of its life.
This has been replaced.
Why do you say that?
Because it's a common thing to replace to make the engine look better.
Or they could have just kept it clean.
Well,
made exclusively for Cadillac.
Yeah.
But like this is peeling. The paint on here is peeling a little bit.
It's got 170,000 miles.
Yeah.
But the hoses look good. Underneath looks good. The engine support through here, this is something that often goes bad.
Oh, we replaced these.
Oh, you did?
Both the motor mount, these two.
And they're not that expensive.
No, surprising. Those like $40.
Exactly. This has also been removed here. You can see this brace has either been replaced or it was removed, and you
probably
can
had
tell
to be
by
removed
the quality
to
of the
get
bolts.
some of the things back there.
That's possible.
You can see here that the cooling system was done at 84,984, which is
half its life ago.
Miles ago.
But it's in good shape.
It does use the R134A, and this is cold, but the AC doesn't work. And there's also this weird thing that was cut out up here, where you can see the heater core.
Yeah.
And
Well, the heat works well.
the heat works great. So I got to figure out what that's all about.
That's a really good question. We'll have to research that to figure. Maybe Dan Lindquist knows.
Now I'm going to grab a paper towel because I want to take a look.
Let's
at
see
the
here. Let's
oil
take a
real
look
quick.
at the interior while
The-
Dan's doing some cleanup work.
Let's see how the oil is doing.
Yeah, the oil looks fine. What are you smelling? Are you tasting the oil?
It's a good year.
I had somebody do that. He took the dipstick out of a car and smelled the oil. And I actually asked him, I said, what are you smelling? And would you even know what you're smelling?
You're smelling for gas. If it smells like gas, that's bad. Or if it smells like coolant, that's bad. This oil is super clean. Just changed at Greenlight Garage.
If it smells like coolant, it would be foamy. If it smells like gas, you would know while driving it.
Yes, that's all very true.
All right, let's look at the interior here. And you can see, this is in pretty good shape. You know, the door cards are in great shape. The dash is in really nice condition. Got the wood grain going on there. Automatic seats. The leather seats look good. Not too much wear. Back seat, of course, never been used.
No, they never are.
So there you go.
All right, now I've got to switch the camera around real quick here. And Adam says it's pretty lame.
Oh, that they won't let you into the...
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the Porsche Cayman or Boxster. With the Cayman, you can't even see the engine.
No.
There's no engine to look at. It's mostly plastics, and I think you can add water and oil, and that's it. Or check those.
Now, the lights that are on, I'll go over those real quick because we did obviously run all the codes, and the codes are saying certain things are happening that aren't happening. Like it says 4 of the cylinders aren't firing. You can tell they are. If this was missing 4,
you would
3 or no, it was 3. If it was 4, you might not tell. If you had, anyway, traction control. There's a thing in the rear wheel. The wheel cylinder works fine, but the sensor's broken. And to replace, you have to replace the whole wheel sensor. So now it says traction control is not working, even though it is. It's a sensor.
Okay.
And that also is knocking out the anti-lock brake. So I've got 4 lights on that, in theory, would not be on. The PCM, the computer might actually be sending the codes wrong because the things are definitely not happening. I don't know.
Yeah.
He doubts it. Let's see. Ray's at a car wash too, not the one that tore off his bumper. You should go to Brown Bear. Motorized trunk latch may need adjustment to catch. Yeah, so it's got the motorized pull down. I don't think anybody broke out of the trunk. I think somebody kept slamming the trunk, thinking that that's how you close it because it wouldn't close all the way, and they dented the upper part. And I purchased one of these.
That's the motor.
No, this is just the latch for the top. So this is the actual latch.
Yes.
And the thing that goes through here, that the key, that's missing as well. So I spoke to Aaron at Modern Collision via email, through our group email.
Yep.
And he said, give him a call. So I'll probably take this in, get the trunk fixed.
I think it's probably a smart thing to do that for this car. You should also talk to him about adjusting the hood while it's there, because that may not be an expensive thing to do, and it looks like something went horribly wrong when you're walking around the outside of the car.
Yeah.
And that could just be an adjustment.
So it says service stability system, trunk open, and those are the only things. It is, I've used 4.3 gallons in 45 miles. So I'm getting 14.3 miles per gallon. It does not get good gas mileage.
Well, it's a V8
battery's got 14.1 volts.
There you go.
Strong battery. All right, donut time, I guess.
That's where we're heading.
Donut time.
As we're heading there,
yes,
we'd like to remind people, because we're still in the winter months, even though Punxsutawney Phil has declared that we will not have
But we're not in
extended winter.
Punxsutawney.
I want to remind people that roadways out there are still wet and slick. So you want to be careful driving, especially at night when you can't see icy patches. You also want to think about some of the things you should be doing to protect against being stranded in your vehicle when there is heavy snows. And that's a green arrow, by the way.
It is a green arrow.
When
One of the worst superheroes ever. Green Lantern, good. Green Arrow, not so much.
Not so good. So make sure you have some provisions in your trunk if you have to end up on the highway, or if you happen to end up on the highway or an impassable road, and you have to stay for several hours. You want to conserve your fuel if you have a vehicle that runs on gas. You want to conserve your fuel to make sure you have enough fuel remaining to get home and not run your heater all the time. So make sure you've got a thick down coat or some sort of blanket with you, just in case. You can always remove the blanket when winter is done and just put it back in your home. Also, a couple of those warm packs to keep your hands warm. That'll prevent.
We should have done this in November, though.
Well, it's a reminder to people now. We did talk about it in the early part of winter.
Throw all this out. Look at that.
Yeah, that's quite a lot of change here. Poulsbo's growing up. It's no longer the sleepy Nordic city it once was.
I hope we've got signal down here.
Oh, well, it appears we do.
What we'll do is we'll sit and chat for a few minutes and finish off the show.
Yes.
And then we'll
go get a donut.
Then we'll get the donut, because I don't know that we're gonna...
We'll reward ourselves privately. There it is. Wait. Nope. It's on the next one.
Eating the donut. He looks happy.
That's the great thing about donuts. Donuts and pie.
They make you happy.
They make you happy. And it's not just the sugar, because before you take a bite, you're happy.
Yeah.
There's a nice old Bronco. That's a great car to go old school with.
Oh, yeah, we could do old school today.
We certainly could. We'd have to find something
dog.
Old school. Oh. What's he doing?
The motorcycle took a nice parking space.
He sure did. That's all right. Well, we can park and walk. We're not. So the old school, we should probably let's see if we can find a vehicle for old school.
There's a Polestar.
Not quite old yet. You know, it used to be easier to find old cars. It's getting harder and harder to find old cars. A 20-year-old car.
Well, we're in a 23-year-old car.
Yeah, it's true.
22-year-old car.
But is a 23-year-old car considered an old car anymore? It's not.
Used to be.
Well, it was. Back then, cars didn't last as long as they do today. Cars last much, much longer. So you see them. There's a 20-year-old Honda. You know, they're. But
there's another 20-year-old.
Yeah,
there's an old Subaru.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to park down here.
Yeah, well, that's because of the sun.
Yeah.
Sun comes out.
I'm gonna go up the other part of town.
Everybody and their brother wants to come out.
Oh, the pancake breakfast. First Sunday of the month.
There you go.
Oh, we missed it.
So yeah, so we're looking for something to go old school here. And you can head down that way and see what we find. Yeah. Oh, there you go. There's the oldest of old schools.
That's old.
That's a delivery, a Model T delivery truck. Yeah, that's maybe a 1914, 15. Boy, the Model T was an amazing vehicle. When you consider the time frame that car was developed, more than 100 years ago. And a couple of interesting features of the Model T. Did you know that the Model T had no fuel pump?
I did not know that.
That is correct. The Model T had no fuel pump. Instead, it operated on a gravity-fed fuel line where the fuel tank was mounted up high in the cowl of the
Simon
vehicle.
Cowell?
In the cowl of the vehicle, and the fuel the main fuel line was at the bottom, and it led into the carburetor, and gravity fed the carburetor from the higher location of the fuel tank. The mechanical fuel pump would come much later. Ford didn't want that on the vehicle because it was an added mechanical item that could fail. Do you know what else was interesting about the Ford Model T?
There was no Model S,
No.
Q, R.
You could remove the hood panels and run a belt off of the engine to one of your farm implements.
Oh,
And you could run, you could power a farm implement that you might have on your farm. The Model T at that time, when they built it, like they did with a lot of vehicles, they gave the Model T SUV-like road clearance because most roads were mud.
Yeah.
And so the vehicles had to be able to trudge through the mud. Car washes during that time were focused on washing the underside of the car more than the top side of the car. In fact, there were places where you would go that were specifically made out of concrete. There were concrete driving bowls, and they ran water up to the midline, the axle of your wheels, and you would drive through, and it was rutted, so the car would shake some of the mud and gunk that it
vibrated
collected.
all off.
Yeah, and then it would drain into the system, and the system would purge the mud and run fresh water in through it again. And that, because at that time, that's what you wanted to clean on your car the most.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
Now, Janice. Well, first off, we never did the. Let's do this real quick.
Oh.
So that Raffi went old school.
Oh, went old school.
Now Ray has mentioned Splash Clean. Dan says,
yes,
the Viking cup with cream cheese from Sly's are amazing, as are the apple fritters.
The apple fritters, I'm going to agree with you. I've had a few of those there. They are amazing.
Ray says, guys, have officially seen Tesla's 2 years old now selling an auction under 20 grand. Yeah, Hertz.
Flooded the market. They got
rid of a bunch of their cars. They had them on HertzAutosales.com. I saw one for $18,500.
Yeah,
a 22 Tesla Model 3.
One of the biggest problems is you can't get them insured. Many insurance companies won't insure the electric cars now. They're saying no to insuring electric cars.
Really?
Yeah.
First time hearing of this.
I think Progressive is one of them. I'll have to do some research, but many of them are suggesting that because of problems with batteries and fires and charging and all that, they're saying no.
Oh, I did not know that. Again, I'm doing another Johnny Carson. But what happened was, so they bought Polestar. Hertz bought a bunch of Polestars, and also a bunch of. You have to go in from this angle.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I don't know if there's anything new.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I can tap that and it shows up there. They agreed to buy 100,000 Polestars over 5 years, and they'd already bought 20 or 30. And when they decided to clear out, they put them on their website, and they were 20, 24,000.
Wow.
And Polestar said, no, reach contract. Can't do that.
Can't do that.
And so they let them out of their contract, but the agreement is if you sell them, you have to sell them to us first. We get first right to buy them back. Because if not, they're going to kill the market. And that's the problem with mine. The residual in mine at the end of September will be $41,000.
That's the residual?
Yes.
Wow.
And I could probably buy mine back at the auction for 23.
Wow.
So I'm turning it in.
Yeah. Might as well.
And I'm doing what you've been saying. Plug-in hybrid.
Plug-in hybrid.
That's where you go.
That's it.
It's the best of both worlds.
Absolutely. And you get fantastic mileage. You're going to miss the electric. I can tell you that. But you get fantastic mileage, You'll have a wonderful driving
But you get
experience.
electric for 30, 40 miles. My wife's car,
That's true.
she's got 17,000 on the car. 14,000 are pure electric. She only has 3,000 miles on her gas engine.
All right.
After 2 years.
I have a text question.
Yes.
That's come in. It says, yes, I've got a 62 Wilsberg Champion Swift with Stromberg downdrafts, Helsinki manifolds, Edelstone overcams, and I'm running 146 octane through a Plymouth Banshee 622 full bore. Where's neutral?
Can you have it translated into English? I understood full bore and octane and neutral.
If you've never seen, this is reminiscent of the turbo encabulator.
Oh yes, I've seen that.
And for those of you listening, and we hope there are many, if you've never seen the turbo encabulator, I encourage you to Google that or go to YouTube and look for turbo encabulator videos. They're quite engaging and entertaining. They were put together by, I believe they were put together by a group of retired General Motors engineers, and they just wanted to have fun. But
they're so serious.
They're very serious.
Like I thought it was real.
You do think it's real when you read about it. You think, or when you watch it for the first time. You watch it, you go, "Wow!" And so you start paying attention. Engineers are paying attention, going, "Wait, what? What is that?"
Yeah, it's crazy. Janice has a question. Where and when is It's a Lot showing? Nowhere at the moment. It's still being shopped. We're talking to a few different networks.
Yes.
So
fingers crossed. But we might
put some vibes in the universe. We might do another screening at some point just for fun.
Might do that.
We also might do a ride and drive with Tony and Dan.
Oh yes,
in character. I don't have to do a whole lot for that.
That's true.
Different glasses.
Yeah, Tony will wear his sharkskin suit.
Yes,
cashmere. It's cashmere. No.
Yeah, it costs more than this car, which it probably does.
Probably.
If you're interested in buying this car, by the way, I will sell it to anybody.
And have you picked a price for this vehicle?
I think I would be very happy letting it go. I don't look to make money. I just, I have fun fixing these little things up. It's a fun little weekend hobby.
Yes.
Making it pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Buying tire. I don't know why. I just love these little things.
It's fun to do.
Yeah. Also, the pickup truck that we've had on the show many times now has a brand new carburetor. Brand new radiator, brand new fuel pump, new lower control arms since we've driven it.
Yes.
And I'm going to rattle can spray paint it this spring.
Oh, you are going to spray paint it?
White with a blue racing stripe.
Oh, my goodness.
Down the middle.
Okay.
And we will drive that eventually as well. Still has the Camaro wheels on it. I can finally go to the dump today now that it's done.
There you go.
It starts on a dime. The starter somebody tried to steal.
Someone tried to steal the starter.
Someone tried to steal the starter. They're either the dumbest catalytic converter thief ever.
I think they wanted the catalytic converter and they were sawing on the starter.
They weren't even sawing. They took the bolt, they unbolted it, and they got shocked. And I think that's what ended. And you have to take off the lower control arm to actually get the starter out. It's blocked, so there's no way to do it.
Wow.
So the starter, luckily, is still working great. We put the new bolts back in, or one of the bolts that they left on the ground. The other bolt we had to get replaced, and it starts great. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's good.
Ray says, I hate working on cars. I always scrape my knuckles. That's because they drag on the ground, Ray. And I make the issues worse. Now, I also make issues worse usually. Like this little hose that was leaking. I could have just got some tape for now, wrapped it up so we could drive the car today. I'm like, no, I'm going to replace the hose. So I went to the local hardware store and I didn't take a piece of the hose with me. And I got one size and I got a slightly bigger size. Well, it was the one in the middle that they didn't have. And I tried to put the smaller one on. I could not get it to go over the little nubs. And I'm like, wait, I could just cut this. There's enough extra hose here. I could just cut the piece off.
Right. You could do that.
And I tried to stick and it still was leaking. So this morning, I'm like, I'm going to take the bigger piece, and I had hose clamps. I'm just going to tighten it. And I tightened it down, and it's no longer leaking. I also put some Blue Devil in this car because I was worried there could be an oil leak somewhere. So Blue Devil, you run for an hour or two, and it normally gets rid of any extra smoking.
Yep.
It seals it up.
The other one is Seafoam. Is that the other one?
Seafoam cleans it.
Clean.
It's a good cleaner.
Yep.
I put the B12 in it with the gas.
Now
that cleans the fuel injectors.
When you did your work,
the thumb came up.
It's because I did. It recognizes it.
You watch it.
Does it recognize this too? So when you did your work, did you bang your knuckles?
I didn't this time.
Good. I gored a knuckle about 3 weeks ago, and Dan points out that it is worse when you gore your knuckle when it's cold outside. Oh my gosh, I don't know what it is about that, but it just like stings even more doing that. And the minute you do it, you know that you've done it.
Yeah.
And it takes just about 2 or 3 seconds for the action of the pain to finally reach your pain brain center.
Yeah. Pain brain.
And you go, oh God. And then it's about a week's worth of fussing over the knuckle and feeling it.
So Ray has a really good question.
All right.
Why do some batteries, and they're GM usually, just have that little nipple, that little bolt, little 10 millimeter bolt in the end?
Yes.
You can't jump with it. It is really hard to get the jumper cable on that little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why did they do that instead of keeping them on the top post? Or not put big posts on it so you have something to jump on? It's a good question.
It's an excellent question. First off, automobile manufacturers don't want people working on their cars. That's the first thing. So if they can in any way make it harder for you to work on your car, they're going to do that. The biggest question, or the biggest reason rather around that, I believe, is because the larger posts are no longer necessary. The smaller posts actually are more efficient and deliver the current flow that's needed. The older style batteries stuck around for a really long time as sort of a universal battery type of thing. The what do you think? Group 24 battery, I think, was the
24, 25.
Okay.
Yeah, they had the big thing, and you put the thing
Right.
on it, and it would lock in, and it was like made out of lead.
Right, and then the smaller side type actually fits better into some of the tighter spaces, so you don't have to go for the top cable to the. But I think more and more what you're going to find is that the battery itself, the lead acid battery, or even spiral cell technology batteries, dry battery, they're going to get smaller. They don't need to be as big as they are anymore. They're going to get smaller, and they're going to be more hidden from the consumer, because again, car companies don't want you under the hood. In probably 10 years, I would say there's going to be virtually no reason to open the hood on a vehicle other than to visually look at the engine. And if you do that today, what are you looking at? Plastic parts, mostly.
I've only opened the hood of my Polestar once, and there's a little trunk in there, a frunk. Now, Ray says normally he likes nipples, but those drive him nuts. He's a nipple guy.
I see.
He's calling them nipples. I mean, they're bolts, little 10 millimeter bolts.
Yes. And also, the same thing is true for changing your oil. It's much harder to change oil on a car these days. And most of the oil change places don't undo the plug and drain the oil from the bottom of the oil pan.
They suck it out.
They use the siphon system, and they pull it out.
Now, my DeLorean, when I had it, and I do miss it, had the drain plug was like up, and they had a special tool to get in there to get it.
Yep.
And they developed a little nozzle. So they put the thing in, and once it's in, you never have to unbolt it again. When you want to change oil, you just turn the nozzle. It drains everything out. Close the nozzle, refill your oil and your filter, of course, and there you go.
Well, or you had a Chevrolet Corvair from 1960 to 1969, and which you never had to change the oil. You just continued to add it.
Because just burned it up.
It just burned it or leaked it.
Yeah, that was the old saying, check the gas and change the oil.
Yes, check the gas and change the oil.
Or
Exactly.
fill the oil.
And speaking of gas, I think we should do gas prices.
All right, you're going to have to use your phone to look it up.
Really?
You're going to have to stump me this time. Because I can't pull it up on here while we're doing this.
Oh, you can't?
I can, but it'll get messy because I'll be doing this. People will be seeing that.
That will be messy. All right, well, we can put off gas prices.
I will say the gas prices. So my son was visiting for a month, and gas was $3.60 at the local reservation.
Yes.
The entire time, it did not go down, and now it's down to $3.51.
I've not seen gas this cheap here for a long time. For reference on gas pricing, when I arrived in California in late August last
Adam
year.
can look them up. Adam, look them up, and we'll try to guess who has the lowest. Go to AAA gas prices is the Google search.
When I arrived in California in the fall of last year, which was let's call it 5 months ago, I paid $5.79 a gallon. August
was actually 6 months ago.
Was it?
Yeah. Okay. We're in February. Your birth month.
Yeah.
6 months to my birth month.
There you go. $5.79 a gallon, and it's now more than $2 per gallon less than it was in California at that time.
Yeah. And here's what's amazing. Gas is down, stock market's up, Bitcoin's up way crazy.
I know with Bitcoin.
I know.
We can have a whole show on that.
Unemployment's down, inflation's down, consumer confidence is up.
Yes.
But the economy's horrible.
Well, there's some questions about the data and how the data is being processed to assess what's actually going on.
All right, Adam's got the prices. Where do you think the lowest gas in the country is?
I think the lowest gas in the country.
Oh, geez.
Excuse me.
Should I open your window?
No, I'm good.
All right.
I'll go with Mississippi.
I'm going to go with Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, okay.
Oklahoma.
Wind
so we'll wait for Adam.
Sweeping down the plains.
We'll wait for Adam to tell us, and then I'll play this real quick. Oh, sorry about the finger.
Gonna do the gas bumper.
Yeah, here we go.
How much is gas where you live?
All right.
Now we wait for Adam to tell us.
So
who's closer? And I think the lowest price right now is $3.02.
$3.02. I was going to go with $2.89.
Oh yeah, it's probably in the two. The average is probably $3.02.
I think it's down under $3. You know what's interesting? Gas prices are always fluctuating, no doubt about that. But at some point, you would think you would reach. Here we go.
Oklahoma's at $2.71.
You win.
Wait, is it the lowest though? You said it was close. I guess
Dan was close. Oklahoma's $2.71. I picked $2.89 as the lowest price, but I've also picked Mississippi.
MISSISSIPPI.
Mm-hmm. So eventually,
yes,
gas prices should. Oh wait,
Wyoming $2.70 for number one. Oh,
Wyoming.
Have
we? I don't think we've ever heard.
I've never seen Wyoming be number one.
There you go.
$2.70 in Wyoming.
Just $2.70 a gallon. That's impressive. When you think about it, some of these cars that have 12, 14 gallon fuel capacity, the smaller cars, they'll be able to fill up for under $30.
This was $60 to fill up.
60.
Yeah.
Well, this has a 20 or 18.5 gallon.
I think it is, yeah. And I also use Super, and I used my mom's Safeway 50 cents off per gallon. So I paid $3.89 for Super.
Adam wants to know where the most expensive gas is.
He doesn't want to know. He wants us to guess.
Okay.
Well, it's California or Hawaii almost always. Washington's probably third.
Both California and Hawaii are earthquake brothers this week.
Yeah, how crazy was that?
Yeah, it's pretty unusual. A 5 point something in Hawaii and a 4 point something in California.
Thousand Oaks.
I will call most expensive. I'll call California most expensive.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. So let's go with the number. I'm going to say 501.
Oh, I was actually going to go with 489.
$4.89. Okay, Adam,
Yeah.
please let us know. And this will be the final thing because I am now craving
The donut.
donut.
What kind of donut do you want?
I want a small one,
A small one.
like a
How about
chocolate.
one without? We could get
Just a cake with chocolate,
like
on it.
an
That's
old
my favorite.
fashioned.
A chocolate old fashioned.
There you go. Okay, we've decided we're gonna get a chocolate old fashioned.
I'll have like one bite. See if I can do the control.
Are you gonna get milk?
No milk.
No milk.
No.
How do you have a donut without milk?
We're not supposed to drink milk.
Why?
We weren't made to drink milk.
You say we, the Jews?
No, Americans, Americans, human beings. I mean, why would we drink cow milk? It makes no sense. I would drink black iced coffee. That's my favorite.
Goodness. Oh, black iced. I'd have an iced tea. All right.
We're waiting for Adam. There we go. Hawaii is $4.70. California is at $4.60. Wow, gas really is cheaper right now.
There you go. All right.
All right. Well, that's our show for this week.
Yep.
If you have any questions, you can email us during the week. You can call 1-877-CarYada, and they'll give us that funny guy on there will give you your voice, or you can just email show@CarYada.com.
There you go.
Show@CarYada.com. I think CarYada is probably a great name for like a really good car website.
Yes.
Like better than just this show. Like there's something great there.
We should set the website up and put some. We could put together a like a blooper reel or a highlights reel.
We could do something. Bob Ross says milk gives you zits.
There you go.
And we'll leave on that. Milk gives you zits. All right. We don't have an ending for this part yet. I'm not going to play the other one. We're just going to say goodbye. Bye.